Hey, warrior, sit with me for a moment. You're sitting alone, maybe late at night, maybe during your commute, and it suddenly hits you. I'm not happy, not in the way I thought I'd be, not in the way I pretended to be. And the scariest part? You can't remember when it started feeling this way. You look around at your life and everything seems fine on paper. You've checked the boxes, you've done what you were supposed to do, but something's missing. Something's been missing for a while now, and you've just been too busy, too distracted, or too afraid to admit it. We all do this. We bury the hard questions under work deadlines and family obligations and weekend plans. We silence that voice inside that keeps asking, is this it? Is this really all there is? We convince ourselves that everyone feels this way, that this restless, hollow feeling is just part of being an adult, that the boredom, the numbness, the quiet desperation is normal. We tell ourselves that this is just what life becomes after a certain age. And the worst part, we keep telling ourselves we'll deal with it later. After this project ends, after the kids grow up, after we save more money, after things calm down, after we retire. But later never comes. The project ends and another begins. The kids grow, but new problems arrive. Retirement comes, but so does the crushing weight of all those unasked questions, all those unlived dreams, all those years spent sleepwalking. Years pass, real years, your years. Socrates said that the unexamined life is not worth living, and he was right. But examining your life is terrifying because it means admitting things you've been pretending not to see. It means facing truths you've been avoiding. It means possibly having to change things that feel safe and familiar, even if they're slowly killing you inside. Most people never do it. They stay comfortable. They stay quiet. They keep pretending. And then decades pass, and they wake up one morning at 50 or 60 or 70, and the regret hits them like a freight train. All those years spent living small, all those dreams left unpursued, all those truths left unspoken, all those questions left unasked. But you don't have to be most people. You're here right now, and that means something in you is ready. Ready to stop pretending, ready to stop settling, ready to ask the questions you've been avoiding. These 12 questions aren't the easy kind. They're not going to make you feel good. Some of them are going to sting. Some are going to make you defensive. Some might make you want to click away because they hit too close to home. But that's exactly why you need to hear them. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves." The questions I'm about to share with you aren't just words, they're mirrors. And what you see when you look into them will tell you everything you need to know about where you are and where you need to go. Your life right now is the result of every question you've asked or avoided asking. And your life 5 years from now will be shaped entirely by what you choose to face today. Before we dive in, hit the like button. Share this with someone who's been playing it safe for too long. Hit subscribe because we're not just sharing videos here. We're creating a space for people who are done pretending. Watch every question. Don't skip. Don't distract yourself. Sit with each one. If you're ready to stop running from the truth, declare it in the comments right now. Courage over comfort. Let's begin. Number 1, am I living for myself or for everyone else's approval? Look at the choices you made this week. The job you showed up to, the things you said yes to, even though you wanted to say no. The version of yourself you presented to the world. The opinions you kept quiet about. The dreams you buried because someone might think they're foolish. Now ask yourself, how many of those choices were truly yours? How many came from your own heart, your own values, your own deepest desires? And how many were simply you performing, conforming, pleasing? Marcus Aurelius wrote something that cuts straight to the heart of this. He said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. We claim to value ourselves, we protect ourselves, we prioritize our own survival above all else, and yet we build our entire lives around what others think. We hand over the keys to our happiness to anyone with an opinion. You stay in a career that's draining your soul because Walking away would look like failure to people who aren't living your life. You maintain relationships that feel empty because ending them would create gossip, would make you the bad guy, would disrupt the image you've carefully constructed. You hide your real interests, your real opinions, your real self because being authentic might mean being judged. You've become an expert at reading rooms, at saying the right things, at being whoever you need to be to keep everyone comfortable. Every Sunday night, that anxiety in your chest isn't about Monday morning. It's about spending another week pretending to be someone you're not. It's about the exhaustion of maintaining a mask that doesn't fit. Every time you bite your tongue, every time you fake enthusiasm for things that bore you, every time you shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you, you're choosing approval over authenticity. You're trading your real life for a performance. Here's the brutal truth. Seeking approval is exhausting because it never ends. There's always another person to please, another standard to meet, another expectation to fulfill. You please your parents, then your partner, then your boss, then your friends, then society. And just when you think you've finally earned everyone's approval, someone new appears with a different set of expectations. And when you finally get the approval you've been chasing your whole life, it doesn't feel like you thought it would. It feels hollow, empty, because it's not your life they're approving of. It's the performance. It's the mask. It's the version of you that exists to make them comfortable. Building your life around approval means you never get to know who you really are. You spend decades performing, adjusting, conforming. You become so good at being what others want that you lose touch with what you want. Somewhere along the way, the real you gets buried so deep you can't find it anymore. The cost isn't just your authenticity, it's your peace, it's your energy, it's your joy. Because living for approval means constantly monitoring yourself, editing yourself, second-guessing yourself. It means making decisions based on fear instead of desire. It means saying yes when everything inside you is screaming no. So ask yourself right now, whose approval am I living for? Your parents, your partner, your friends, your colleagues, society? That voice in your head that judges everything you do? And more importantly, is it worth the cost of never truly knowing yourself? Is it worth spending your one precious life trying to be what everyone else wants instead of discovering who you actually are? The Stoics believe that virtue is its own reward, that living in alignment with your own values is more important than any external validation. They understood that the approval of others is outside your control, but your integrity, your authenticity, your self-respect is entirely within your power. You have one life, and it's happening right now. Don't spend it being a supporting character in everyone else's story. This is your moment of honesty. Show me you're brave enough by typing in the comments, "I live for myself." Number 2, what truth am I refusing to see? There's something you already know, something sitting quietly in the back of your mind, waiting for you to acknowledge it. You feel it in those quiet moments when the distractions fade. You sense it in your gut when you're making certain decisions. You hear it in that voice you keep trying to silence. It's the thing you think about at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. The thing that surfaces when you're driving alone with no music. The thing you quickly push away because you're not ready to face it. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." But sometimes we suffer because we refuse to face reality at all. We build elaborate stories to avoid simple truths. We stay busy so we don't have to think. We numb ourselves so we don't have to feel. Maybe it's the truth about your relationship. The connection died months ago, maybe years ago, but you're both going through the motions. You're not partners anymore. You're roommates. You're two people sharing space but not sharing life. And admitting that means difficult conversations, uncertain futures, pain you're not ready to face. Maybe it's the truth about your health, the way you've been treating your body. The habits you know are destroying you slowly, but you keep telling yourself you'll change tomorrow. The warning signs you're ignoring because facing them means you'd actually have to do something about them. Maybe it's the truth about your work, that you're not just tired, that you're not just going through a rough patch, that this job is slowly killing something inside you, that you're staying because it's familiar, not because it's right, that every Sunday evening, that sick feeling in your stomach is your body trying to tell you something you don't want to hear. Maybe it's the truth about yourself, about who you've become versus who you wanted to be. about the potential you're wasting, about the excuses you keep making, about the ways you're letting yourself down every single day. Avoiding the truth doesn't make it go away. It just makes it heavier. It accumulates. It grows. It shows up in your stress, your sleepless nights, your unexplained anxiety. It shows up in the relationships that keep failing in the same patterns. It shows up in the goals you never seem to reach. It shows up in the nagging feeling that something's wrong even when everything looks fine on the surface. Your body knows. Your heart knows. The only one pretending not to know is your mind. Here's the thing about truth. Facing it might hurt, but living with the lie hurts more. The pain of truth is temporary. It's sharp, intense, but it passes. The pain of denial is chronic. It's a low-grade fever that never breaks, a constant ache that you learn to live with until you forget what it feels like to be well. Facing the truth might be uncomfortable, but at least it's real. At least you're finally dealing with reality instead of fighting against it. It might mean change, but at least you're moving forward instead of staying stuck in place. You don't have to know what to do about it yet. You don't need a plan. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just have to stop pretending you don't see it. Stop lying to yourself. Stop making excuses. Stop pushing it away. Just look at it. Name it. Acknowledge it. Let it exist in the open. So ask yourself right now, what truth am I refusing to see? What have I been avoiding? What do I know deep down that I'm not ready to admit? This is your moment of honesty. Show me you're brave enough by typing in the comments, I face the truth. Number 3, am I living in the past or building my future? Every day you make choices. Where to focus your energy, how to spend your time, which opportunities to pursue, which risks to take or avoid. But here's the question most people never ask. Are these choices based on where you want to go or on where you've been hurt before? Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. But most people aren't reacting to what's happening now. They're still reacting to what happened 5, 10, 20 years ago. They're living in the present with eyes fixed firmly on the past. Think about your decisions. Are you avoiding certain types of relationships because someone broke your heart years ago? Are you playing it safe in your career because you failed once and never recovered from the shame? Are you keeping people at a distance because you learned early that trusting others leads to pain? Are you saying no to opportunities because someone once told you that you weren't good enough? These aren't conscious choices. They're automatic responses. Old wounds dressed up as wisdom, past pain masquerading as protection. And the worst part is, you probably don't even realize you're doing it. These patterns feel natural, like personality traits. You're not scared, you're realistic. You're not stuck, you're stable. You're not closed off, you're careful. You've created elaborate justifications for behaviors that are simply fear wearing a mask. But here's the truth. The past only controls your future if you let it. That person who hurt you isn't in your life anymore, but you're still making decisions as if they are. That failure that crushed you is over, but you're still living like it's happening today. That rejection that made you feel small happened years ago, but you're still shrinking yourself to avoid feeling that way again. Your past happened. It shaped you. It taught you things. Some of those lessons were valuable. You learned to be stronger, more cautious, more aware. You learned what you can survive. You learned what you never want to experience again. But some of those lessons are lies. Some of those protective mechanisms that helped you survive are now preventing you from truly living. The walls you built to keep out pain are also keeping out joy. The armor that protected you in battle is now too heavy to move in. Every moment you spend looking backward is a moment you're not moving forward. Every decision you make based on old pain is a decision that keeps you trapped in old patterns. Every opportunity you reject because of past failures is an opportunity to create a different future that you're throwing away. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. You can visit it to learn, but you can't live there. It's not your home anymore. So ask yourself, what am I still carrying that I need to put down? What old story am I still telling myself that's no longer true? What past hurt is still influencing my present choices? You get to decide right now. Are you going to keep letting your past write your future? Or are you going to pick up the pen and write something new? This is your moment of liberation. Show me you're ready by typing in the comments, I release the past. Number 4, who am I becoming right now? In this very moment, you are becoming someone. Not the person you were yesterday, not the person you hope to be someday, but the person your daily choices are actually creating. And here's the uncomfortable question. Is that person someone you'd respect if you met them? The poet Mary Oliver asked, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" But most of us are so caught up in the doing that we never stop to ask who we're becoming in the process. We're so focused on what we're achieving that we ignore who we're turning into. Look at how you spent the last week. Not how you wish you spent it, not how you plan to spend it, how you actually spent it. Where did your time go? What did you prioritize? What did you say yes to? What did you avoid? Because those choices aren't neutral. They're not just things you do and forget. They're shaping you, building you, creating the person you're becoming. Every action is a brick in the structure of your character. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're becoming someone who shrinks from challenges. Every time you react with anger instead of patience, you're becoming someone whose first instinct is hostility. Every time you scroll instead of create, consume instead of contribute, complain instead of act, you're becoming someone you might not recognize in 5 years. Most people operate on autopilot. They react instead of respond. They follow patterns instead of making conscious choices. They do today what they did yesterday because it's easier than thinking about whether it's actually taking them where they want to go. And then one day they wake up and wonder how they became so different from who they wanted to be. They wonder when they became so cynical, so tired, so disconnected. They wonder when their dreams got so small. They wonder when they stopped trying. But it didn't happen in one day. It happened in 1,000 small choices, in 1,000 moments where they chose the easy path over the right one, in 1,000 instances where they compromised their values because it was convenient, in 1,000 times they said, just this once, until just this once became who they are. Here's the thing about becoming. It's happening whether you're paying attention or not. You're either becoming stronger or weaker, more patient or more reactive, more generous or more selfish, more open or more closed. There's no staying the same. You're always moving in one direction or another. The Stoics called this the discipline of action, the practice of making every choice count, of living with intention, of recognizing that who you are is simply the sum of what you do. So look at your daily habits, your automatic reactions, your default choices. These aren't just things you do. They're who you're becoming. And if you don't like the direction you're heading, you have the power to change it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now, with the very next choice you make. Who are you becoming? And is that who you want to be? This is your moment of conscious creation. Show me you're paying attention by typing in the comments, I'm becoming my best self. Number 5, am I truly living or just going through the motions? There's a difference between having a pulse and being truly alive. You can breathe, eat, work, sleep, repeat the cycle endlessly, and still feel like something essential is missing. You can be surviving but not thriving. You can be existing but not living. Henry David Thoreau saw this clearly when he wrote, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them." That was true in the 1850s, and it's even more true today. We've become experts at distraction, at numbing, at staying busy enough that we don't have to feel how empty we actually are. We fill our schedules, our screens, our minds with noise, so we don't have to sit with the silence and ask ourselves the hard questions. Living means feeling deeply. It means being present to both the joy and the pain. It means taking risks that make your heart race. It means creating, connecting, growing, discovering. It means being fully engaged with your own existence. Existing means going through the routine. Wake up, work, come home, distract yourself, sleep, repeat. Day after day, week after week, year after year. It's safe, it's predictable, it's comfortable, and it's slowly killing you. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not just happy or content, but alive, vibrant, fully present. When was the last time you did something that scared you in a good way? When was the last time you learned something new just because it fascinated you? When was the last time you had a conversation that went deeper than small talk? When was the last time you created something just for the joy of creating? If you can't remember, or if it's been too long, you might be existing rather than living. How easy it is to slip into existence mode. Life gets busy. Responsibilities pile up. We tell ourselves we'll really start living once we finish this project, once the kids are older, once we retire, once we have more money. But that day keeps moving further away. Meanwhile, your life is happening right now, not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you're ready, right now. And every day you spend going through the motions is a day you can never get back. The Stoics didn't wait for the perfect moment. They understood that the only moment that exists is this one. They practiced being fully present, fully engaged, fully alive to whatever was happening. Living requires intention. It requires you to make conscious choices about how you spend your time and energy. It requires you to say no to things that drain you and yes to things that fill you up, even when that's inconvenient. It requires you to stop sleepwalking through your days. You don't need permission to start living. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need more time or more money. You just need to decide that your life is worth more than a series of routines, that your days are worth more than just getting through them. So ask yourself, am I living or am I just going through the motions? Am I present or am I on autopilot? Am I engaged or am I just surviving? This is your moment to wake up. Show me you're ready by typing in the comments. I choose to truly live. Number 6, what am I tolerating that's slowly killing me? There are things in your life right now that are draining you slowly, quietly, so gradually that you barely notice anymore. But they're there, pulling at your energy, dimming your light, making everything feel heavier than it should be. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. But here's the problem. Most of us have given away that power by tolerating things we know we shouldn't. We've made peace with situations that are slowly eroding us because change feels harder than endurance. Maybe it's the clutter in your home that creates constant, low-level chaos in your mind. You walk past it every day, and every day it whispers that things are out of order, that you're not in control, that your environment reflects your inner state. Maybe it's the friend who only calls when they need something but is never there when you do. The relationship that's become a one-way street, but you keep showing up because you remember who they used to be, or because you're afraid of the conflict that ending it would bring. Maybe it's the broken things you keep meaning to fix but never do. The leaky faucet, the squeaky door, the cracked screen, small things that accumulate into a constant sense of incompleteness. Maybe it's the commitments you said yes to out of guilt that now fill your calendar with resentment. The obligations you never wanted but can't seem to escape. The people and projects that drain you but feel impossible to disentangle from. Maybe it's the way someone speaks to you that crosses a line, but you've never set a boundary. The disrespect you've normalized. The treatment you've learned to accept because you've forgotten what respect feels like. We tolerate these things for 1,000 reasons. We tell ourselves it's not that bad. We don't want to seem difficult or demanding. We're afraid of confrontation. We think we don't deserve better. We're too tired to deal with it. We hope it will somehow fix itself. But here's the truth. Everything you tolerate teaches the world what you're willing to accept. Every time you allow something that depletes you to continue, you're making a statement about your worth. You're saying, this is what I deserve. This is all I can expect. Think about your energy like a bank account. Everything you tolerate is a withdrawal. Every unresolved issue, every toxic dynamic, every cluttered space, every unfulfilled promise. These withdrawals add up, and eventually you find yourself overdrawn, exhausted, with nothing left to give to the things and people that actually matter. The worst part is how normalized it becomes. You get so used to carrying this weight that you forget what it feels like to be light. You accept exhaustion as your baseline. You think everyone feels this drained, this heavy, this stuck, but they don't. or at least they don't have to. Deciding what you'll no longer tolerate isn't about being demanding or difficult. It's about being honest. It's about recognizing that your energy is precious and finite, and you get to choose where it goes. It's about understanding that saying no to what drains you is actually saying yes to what could fill you up. So ask yourself right now, what am I tolerating that's slowly killing me? What needs to change? What conversations need to happen? What boundaries need to be set? What needs to be let go? Your life force is too valuable to waste on what doesn't deserve it. This is your line in the sand. Draw it by typing in the comments. No more tolerating. Number 7. What would I do if fear wasn't holding me back? Fear is the silent dictator of most people's lives. It sits in the background, whispering reasons why you can't, shouldn't, won't. It dresses up as logic, as practicality, as wisdom. But underneath all the reasonable justifications, it's just fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking stupid, fear of not being good enough, fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of what others might think, fear of losing what you have, fear of not getting what you want. And because of this fear, you've made your world smaller, safer, more predictable, and less alive. Epictetus taught that it's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. And fear is simply a judgment, a prediction that something bad will happen, a story you're telling yourself about the future. But here's what's important to understand. Fear is not reality. It's imagination. It's a projection. It's your mind trying to protect you by showing you worst-case scenarios. Most of what you're afraid of will never happen. And even if it does, you'll handle it. You always have. You've survived every difficult thing that's ever happened to you. Every fear you've ever had that actually materialized, you got through. So ask yourself, if fear wasn't holding you back, what would you do? Would you start that business you've been dreaming about? Would you write that book? Would you have that difficult conversation? Would you leave that relationship that's been draining you? Would you move to that new city? Would you ask that person out? Would you change careers? Would you finally take your art seriously? Would you speak your truth even if your voice shakes? The answers to these questions are the map to your authentic life. They're not random fantasies. They're clues. They're your deepest self trying to guide you toward what actually matters to you. Seneca said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." And most of that waste comes from letting fear make our decisions. Think about the version of yourself 5 years from now if you let fear keep running the show. Is that someone you want to meet? Or is that someone you'd pity for playing so small? Now think about the version of yourself 5 years from now if you started saying yes to the things fear has been blocking. That version is bolder, freer, more alive. That version is who you're meant to become. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to take one step toward what fear has been blocking. One conversation, one application, one investment, one risk. The fear won't disappear. It might never fully go away. But you can learn to act in spite of it. You can learn to feel the fear and do it anyway. So ask yourself, what would I do if fear wasn't holding me back? And then ask yourself, what's one small step I can take toward that today? This is your moment of courage. Show me you're ready by typing in the comments. I act despite fear. Number 8. Am I spending my time or investing it? Time is the only resource you can't get back. You can make more money. You can repair relationships. You can recover from failure. But you can never recover time. Every hour you spend is gone forever. So here's the question. Are you spending your time or investing it? Spending time means using it up without getting anything back. It's scrolling through social media for hours and feeling emptier afterward. It's watching shows you don't even enjoy just because they're on. It's saying yes to obligations that drain you because you don't know how to say no. It's being busy but not productive, occupied but not fulfilled. Investing time means using it in ways that compound, that build something that make your future self richer, stronger, wiser, more capable. It's reading books that expand your mind. It's learning skills that open doors. It's exercising to build physical resilience. It's having conversations that deepen relationships. It's working on projects that matter to you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." That's not morbid, it's clarifying. When you remember that your time is limited, you stop spending it on things that don't matter. You become more intentional, more selective, more invested in how you use each hour. Look at your average day. How many hours are you actually investing in your future? How many are you simply spending, letting slip away, hoping they'll add up to something but knowing they won't? Most people are excellent at spending time. They've mastered the art of distraction, of killing time, of filling the hours with noise and motion that leads nowhere. But when they look back at the end of a week, a month, a year, they struggle to point to anything they've actually built. The 1% understand that time is their most precious asset. They treat it like money. They invest it where it will grow. They're careful about where it goes. They don't let other people spend it for them. So ask yourself, where is my time actually going? And is that where I want it to go? Am I building something or just passing time? Am I investing in my future or just spending my present? This is your moment of clarity. Show me you're paying attention by typing in the comments. I invest my time. Number 9. What am I pretending not to know about myself? This is the deepest question, the one that might make you the most uncomfortable. Because you know things about yourself that you're not ready to admit. You know your patterns, your excuses, your self-deceptions. You know when you're lying to yourself. You know when you're settling. You know when you're capable of more and choosing less. You know why that relationship keeps failing. You know why you haven't started that project. You know why you keep gaining and losing the same weight. You know why you're stuck in the same career rut. You know the role you play in your own unhappiness. But you pretend not to know, because knowing would require action, and action is uncomfortable. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." He meant that growth requires you to admit what you don't know, what you can't do, where you're weak. It requires dropping the pretense that you have it all figured out. What are you pretending not to know about yourself? Maybe it's that you're afraid of success, not just failure. That if you actually achieved your dreams, you'd have no more excuses. You'd have to show up fully. And that's terrifying. Maybe it's that you've been using past trauma as an identity, that you're more attached to your story of being wounded than you are to healing, that your pain has become comfortable. Maybe it's that you're the common denominator in all your failed relationships, that the pattern isn't them, it's you, that you keep choosing the same kind of person because it's familiar, not because it's healthy. Maybe it's that you're not as busy as you claim to be, that you use busyness as an excuse to avoid the things that really matter, that you're hiding behind your calendar. Maybe it's that you're waiting for permission that will never come, that you're hoping someone will save you, choose you, validate you, that you're giving away your power waiting for approval that's not coming. These are hard truths, but they're also liberating, because once you admit them, you can do something about them. Once you stop pretending, you can start changing. So ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know about myself? What truth am I hiding from? What role am I playing in my own stagnation? This is your moment of radical honesty. Show me you're brave enough by typing in the comments. I face myself fully. Number 10. If I died tomorrow, what would I regret not saying? This question cuts through all the noise. Imagine for a moment that tomorrow was your last day, not in a morbid way, but in a clarifying way. What would you wish you had said? To whom? Why haven't you said it yet? Most of us go through life with words stuck in our throats. I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. I was wrong. You hurt me. I need you. I'm leaving. I'm scared. I believe in you. Thank you. We hold these words back because we're afraid of vulnerability, afraid of how they'll be received, afraid of the weight they carry, afraid that once spoken, things will change. And they will. That's the point. Seneca, who faced death at the hands of Emperor Nero, understood this better than anyone. He wrote letters to his friend Lucilius, not knowing if they'd be his last. He said what needed to be said. He left nothing unsaid. What would you regret not saying? Maybe it's telling your parents you love them. even if they didn't love you the way you needed. Maybe it's forgiving someone who hurt you, not for them, but for your own peace. Maybe it's admitting to a friend that they matter to you more than you've shown. Maybe it's telling your partner the truth about what you need. Maybe it's saying no to something that's been draining you. Maybe it's saying yes to something you've been too scared to try. The people who reach the end of their lives with the deepest regrets aren't the ones who failed. They're the ones who never spoke, who left love unexpressed, forgiveness unoffered, truth unspoken. You don't have to wait for a deathbed to say these things. You can say them now, today, this week. You can clear the weight of unsaid words from your chest and breathe easier. So ask yourself, if I died tomorrow, what would I regret not saying? And to whom? And what's stopping me from saying it today? This is your moment of truth. Show me you're ready by typing in the comments, I speak my truth. Number 11. Am I the person I needed when I was younger? Think back to yourself at 15, at 20, at 25. What did that version of you need? What kind of person could have made a difference in your life? What wisdom, what guidance, what presence could have changed your trajectory? Now look at yourself today. Are you that person for anyone? The Stoics believed in service, in contributing to something larger than yourself, in living not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote constantly about his duty to the whole, to the community, to humanity. One of the deepest forms of fulfillment comes from becoming for others what you once needed for yourself. Maybe you needed someone to believe in you. Are you believing in anyone now? Maybe you needed someone to listen without judgment. Are you listening now? Maybe you needed someone to tell you the truth even when it was hard. Are you speaking truth now? Maybe you needed someone to show you that things could get better. Are you living proof of that for anyone else? This isn't about becoming a martyr or sacrificing yourself for others. It's about recognizing that your struggles, your growth, your lessons have value beyond yourself. They're not just for you. They're for everyone you can help. The pain you've survived gives you the ability to comfort others in pain. The mistakes you've made give you the wisdom to guide others away from similar pitfalls. The darkness you've walked through gives you the light to help others find their way. But only if you choose to use it. Only if you choose to become that person. So ask yourself, am I the person I needed when I was younger? And if not, what's one thing I can do today to move closer to becoming that person? This is your moment of purpose. Show me you're ready by typing in the comments, I become what I once needed. Number 12. What would I do today if I only had 1 year left? This is the final question, the one that brings everything together. If you knew you had exactly 1 year left to live, how would you spend it? Not in a dramatic bucket list way necessarily, but in a way that reflects what actually matters to you. What would you stop doing? What would you start doing? Who would you spend time with? What would you finally allow yourself to pursue? What would you let go of? What would you prioritize? Most people, when they honestly answer this question, realize that much of what fills their days is completely meaningless. The worries, the grudges, the busy work, the obligations they never wanted, the people they don't even like, the possessions they spend so much time maintaining. And they also realize that what truly matters gets pushed aside. Time with loved ones, creative expression, connection with nature, learning, growing, loving, being present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't about living in fear of death. It's about using the reality of death to wake you up to life. It's about letting your mortality clarify your priorities. It's about asking, if this were my last year, would I be living it the way I am right now? If the answer is no, you have some adjusting to do. Not in some dramatic, quit your job and move to a mountain way necessarily, but in a way that brings more of what matters into your actual life starting today. You don't have to wait for a diagnosis to start living. You don't have to wait for a crisis to prioritize what counts. You can start now, today, with one small shift toward what you would choose if you only had a year left. So ask yourself, what would I do today if I only had 1 year left? And what's one small thing I can do right now to move in that direction? This is your moment of clarity. Show me you're ready by typing in the comments. I live like my time is precious. So here we stand, 12 questions, 12 mirrors, 12 opportunities to stop sleepwalking and start truly living. Let's recap them one more time so they sink deep into your mind. Number 1, am I living for myself or for everyone else's approval? Number 2, what truth am I refusing to see? Number 3, am I living in the past or building my future? Number 4, who am I becoming right now? Number 5, am I truly living or just going through the motions? Number 6, what am I tolerating that's slowly killing me? Number 7, what would I do if fear wasn't holding me back? Number 8, am I spending my time or investing it? Number 9, what am I pretending not to know about myself? Number 10, if I died tomorrow, what would I regret not saying? Number 11, am I the person I needed when I was younger? Number 12, what would I do today if I only had 1 year left? These aren't questions you answer once and forget. They're questions you return to, questions you sit with, questions that evolve as you evolve. The examined life isn't a destination, it's a practice. It's a daily commitment to looking honestly at yourself and your choices, to facing what's uncomfortable, to admitting what you'd rather hide, to choosing growth over comfort, truth over illusion, authenticity over approval. Socrates was right. The unexamined life is not worth living, but the examined life requires courage. It requires you to look in the mirror and not flinch at what you see. It requires you to ask the hard questions and actually sit with the answers. You have that courage. It's in you right now. You've proven it by staying with these questions all the way to the end, by not clicking away when they got uncomfortable, by facing yourself in ways most people never will. Now the real work begins, not just asking these questions, but living the answers. Not just knowing what matters, but actually prioritizing it. Not just seeing what needs to change, but changing it. Start today. Pick one question, just one, and let it guide your choices this week. Let it shape how you spend your time, how you show up, how you treat yourself and others. You don't need to transform overnight. You just need to start. One question at a time, one honest answer at a time, one small change at a time. Your life 5 years from now will be shaped entirely by what you choose to face today. Don't wait until 50. Don't wait until the regret is too heavy to carry. Start now. Start today. Start with this moment. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button. Not for me, as a commitment to yourself that you're done pretending. Drop a comment and tell me which question hit you hardest. I read them. I'm with you. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's been sleepwalking. Someone who's been playing it safe. Someone who's been avoiding the hard questions. Subscribe because this journey continues, and growth is always stronger together than alone. One final time, drop this affirmation in the comments to seal it. I face the hard questions. I live and examine life. I don't wait until 50. Your life is waiting for you. Go live it.